Guys, Iran has carried out its threats and launched massive attacks against energy facilities in neighboring countries in the Persian Gulf. And gas prices in Europe have risen by 30%. All of this happened after Israel launched that massive attack, as we just heard from Trey, to the largest gas field in the world, located off the coast of Qatar and shared between Qatar and Iran. President Trump reacted to the news through Truth Social, saying the following: "The United States knew absolutely nothing about this attack, and Qatar was not involved in any way, nor did it have any idea that this would happen. There will be no more attacks by Israel on the South Pars field unless Iran recklessly decides to attack an innocent country. In this case, Qatar, the South Pars gas field in the Persian Gulf is shared with Qatar. As we mentioned, it supplies much of Iran's gas and is vital for exports. Most of Qatar's gas goes to Asia, mainly to China. The United States is the world's largest exporter of LNG. There was a sharp increase since exports from the United States were almost zero in 2016. Due to these attacks, oil prices skyrocketed and Iran attacked oil and gas fields in the UAE, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia. Iran fired ballistic missiles at Riyadh while diplomats from the Gulf and ministers from Turkey, Lebanon, Jordan, and Azerbaijan were meeting. The chief diplomat of the Emirates issued a strong statement saying this terrorist attack against infrastructure and oil facilities directly threatens the security and stability of the region, its people, and global energy security. Although Iranian drone and missile attacks have decreased since the beginning of the conflict, it is worth noting that Iran's attacks have increased in recent days, and the air defenses of the United Arab Emirates were active today.
Yes, they have. Thank you very much, Lucas S. Did you see the testimony yesterday?
Yes, I watched Harris's show. We saw different testimonies. It was very fascinating because Tulsi Gabbard, yes, head of intelligence, thank you. Lawrence and some other intelligence officials who work for President Trump were being questioned by the senators. They wanted to know about the war, what the president knew, and how often he was briefed. They said he is constantly briefed. I think it was like 10 times a week. He gets information directly from John Ratcliffe, the CIA director, but he is always being briefed about what is happening in the intelligence community around the world. And Tulsi Gabbard talked about what is happening in Iran, and she commented on the nuclear sites that were blown up. The last one was in June. It was in 2025. Listen to this.
The ICS says that the regime in Iran seems to be intact but largely degraded due to attacks on its leadership and its military capabilities. The capabilities for projecting conventional military power have been largely destroyed, leaving few options. Iran's strategic position has been significantly degraded, even if the regime remains intact. The intelligence community assesses that internal tensions will likely increase as Iran's economy worsens. Even so, Iran and its allies continue to attack U.S. interests and partners in the Middle East. Intelligence assesses that if a hostile regime survives, it will likely attempt a years-long effort to rebuild its military forces, missiles, and drones.
So, I mean, that's basically the stated fact here, you know? Both the United States and the Israelis managed to hit all their targets, all their leaders. But the regime had a contingency plan, which is there are other people who are part of the regime and who are operating in isolation, each doing their own thing. Brian, I was commenting before coming in, and I didn't like it, that the Democrats spent a lot of time with the word imminent. I don't think that's the president. It may have started with imminent, but I don't think it's necessary. The stated goal of the country is to destroy the United States and destroy Israel, and they have been acting toward that.
Yes, these have been constant threats for 47 years, and with the pursuit of nuclear weapons, the situation has become urgent in the last 12 years. But the government remains intact. If we consider a regime that lost a third of its leadership, can we really consider it an intact government? Without the main team, imagine if we lost all the secretaries. We have undersecretaries and deputies, but there's a reason they're subordinates. They weren't that good, so these experienced people are dead. And the reason there are no women is because women don't have rights there. So that's why I'm not using general terms, which doesn't seem to bother the left in this country, but I don't want to get off topic. So they were targeted and the rest either left or were blacklisted. They will die off steadily. The Israelis have sources on the ground. They don't even need to be underground. Many people hate the government and turn everyone in. Did you know they're making direct threats to all the politicians? Well, you're on a blacklist. If you speak out and don't back down, you'll die. Make your choice. Stay alert this weekend with the Persian New Year when people go out into the streets to celebrate. This could grow if it's not stopped, because even when they're banned, they show up just like they did at the Fire Festival if they celebrate without repression. This will show that the Americans and the Israelis managed to weaken them. Will they advance towards Tehran after losing 30 to 40,000 innocent civilians? I understand why people hesitate to leave, but I think we're starting to significantly destabilize their regime and infrastructure.
Yesterday's guest said that during the Festival of Fire, people left their homes in Iran, and the regime started to run and hide when they saw drones and heard the sounds of gunfire or explosions. Yesterday, top officials presented the annual intelligence report on threats to the United States, identifying China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran as the main adversaries. In addition, Tulsi Gabbard released the 2026 annual threat assessment from American intelligence. A 34-page document states that lone wolf attacks inspired by extremist ideologies represent the most likely terrorist threat on American soil.
The quote says that the most likely terrorist attack scenario in the U.S. involves lone actors. These individuals are inspired by foreign ideologies that exploit world events, such as the conflict in Gaza. To motivate radicalization, groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS disseminate media, encouraging attacks and offering tactical guidance to their supporters. This could have been written in 2002, so that's it. Ongoing and continuous. What we need is a 200. And P.U. Hegseth, the Secretary of War, is going to say this: today we need $200 billion in a war budget supplement. They'll ask for that right away. I don't know. The Democrats are going to cut the war funding again.
It's not just about cutting war funding. They received an intelligence report about the threat to the homeland, where 80% of DHS analysts still haven't been paid.
Mark Rutte is standing out again. NATO will stay. We're going to help. Estonia has stepped in. Finland is gaining prominence and says it will participate and help as well. They have a navy. I'm not sure what Estonia has, but no one has stood out more than Ukraine itself.
In the report, she also mentioned ISIS and Al-Qaeda, saying that they still want to attack the United States. Their ability to plan and act has been greatly reduced, but they are gaining strength in Africa, and they have been involved in some of these local conflicts.
Yeah, I mean, the African command is actually in Germany, and they are pretty much in control of that threat. The Russian effort with the Wagner Group to establish themselves there has largely failed.